And the men of Ephraim said to Gideon, What is this thing that thou wouldest do, and that thou calledest not us, when thou wentest to battle against Midian? And they chided with him strongly, and well nigh they did to him violence. To whom he answered, And what such thing might I have done? What manner thing ye have done? Whether a raisin of Ephraim is not better than the vintages of Abiezer? And the Lord hath betaken into your hands the princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb. What such thing might I have done? What manner thing ye have done? And when he had spoken this thing, the spirit of them rested, by which they swelled against him. And when Gideon had come to Jordan, he passed it with 300 men that were with him, and for weariness they might not pursue them that fled. And he said to the men of Succoth, I beseech, give ye loaves to the people that is with me, for they failed greatly, that we may then pursue Zebah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. And the princes of Succoth answered in scorn, Did hap the palms of the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna be in thine hands, and therefore thou askest that we give loaves to thine host. To whom Gideon said, Therefore, when the Lord shall betake Zebah and Zalmunna into mine hands, and when I shall turn again, overcomer in peace, I shall rend your flesh with thorns and briars of the desert. And Gideon went up from thence, and came into Penuel. And he spake like things to the men of that place, to whom also they answered, as the men of Succoth had answered. And so he said to them, When I shall turn again, overcomer in peace, I shall destroy this tower. For Zebah and Zalmunna rested with all their host, for 15,000 men left of all the companies of the peoples of the east, when 120,000 of fighters and of men drawing out sword were slain. And Gideon ascended or went up by the way of them that dwelled in tabernacles at the east coast of Nobah and of Jogbehah, and smote the tents of the enemies that were secure, and supposed not anything of adversity. And Zebah and Zalmunna fled, whom Gideon pursued and took, when all their host was troubled. And he turned again from battle before the rising of the sun. And he took a young man of the men of Succoth, and he asked him the names of the princes and of the elder men of Succoth. And he described 77 men in number. And he came to Succoth, and to them, Lo, Zebah and Zalmunna, of which ye upbraided me, and said, In hap the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna in thine hands, and therefore thou askest that we give loaves to men that be weary and failed. Therefore Gideon took the elder men of the city, and thorns and briars of desert, and he rent with those, and all brake the men of Succoth. Also he destroyed the tower of Penuel, when the dwellers of the city were slain. And he said to Zebah and Zalmunna, What manner of men were they that ye killed in Tabor? Which answered, They were like thee, and one of them was as the son of a king. To whom Gideon said, They were my brethren, they were my brethren, the sons of my mother. The Lord liveth. If ye had saved them, I would not slay you. And he said to Jether, his first begotten son, Rise thou, and slay them. And Jether drew not his sword, for he dreaded, for he was yet a child. And Zebah and Zalmunna said, Rise thou, and fall on us, for thou art by the age and strength of man. Gideon rose and killed Zebah and Zalmunna, and took the ornaments and bells, with which the necks of the king's camels be wont to be made fair. And all the men of Israel said to Gideon, Be thou Lord of us, thou and thy son, and the son of thy son, for thou deliverest us from the hand of Midian. To whom he said, I shall not be Lord of you, neither my son shall be Lord on you, but the Lord shall be Lord on you. And Gideon said to them, I ask one asking of you, Give ye to me the earrings of your prey. For Ishmaelites were wont to have golden earrings, which answered, We shall give most gladly. And they spreaded forth a mantle on the earth, casted forth therein earrings of the prey. And the weight of the earrings that he asked was 1,700 shekels of gold, without ornaments, and brooches, and cloves of purple, which the kings of Midian were wont to use, and besides golden bees of camels, And Gideon made thereof ephod, that is, of priest cloths, and he put it in his city Ophrah. And all Israel did fornication, that is, idolatry, therein, and it was made to Gideon and all his house into falling. But Midian was made low before the sons of Israel, and they might no more raise up their knolls. And the land rested 40 years, in which Gideon was sovereign. And so Jerubbaal, the son of Joash, went and dwelled in his house. And he had 70 sons that went out of his thigh, for he had many wives, and a concubine, that is, secondary wife of him, whom he had in Shechem, engendered to him a son, Abimelech by name. And Gideon, the son of Joash, died in good eld, and was buried in the sepulchre of Joash his father, in Ophrah of the Mina of Abiezrites. And after that Gideon was dead, the sons of Israel turned away, and they did fornication, that is, idolatry, with Balaam, and they smote bond of peace with Baal-berith, that he should be to them and to God. Neither Israel had mind of their Lord God, that had delivered them from the hand of all their enemies by compass or about. Neither they did mercy to the Mina of Jerubbaal, that is, Gideon, after all the good things that he did to Israel.